Get ready to witness some of the most shameless car ripoffs to ever roll out of a Chinese factory. From copy-paste luxury SUVs to Frankenstein-like sports cars that don't know what they want to be, today we're diving into the worst Chinese ripoff cars ever made. And trust me, some of these are so bad, they're actually hilarious. Number 1. The Landwind X7. Let's start things off with a legendary case of blatant copying. Meet the Landwind X7. If you think this looks like the Range Rover Evoque, well, that's because it basically is. Same silhouette, same design, and even a similar name, X7. And no, we're not talking about a BMW here. Land Rover wasn't too happy about this ripoff, and in an extremely rare legal victory, they actually won a lawsuit against Landwind in China. That alone deserves some applause, because usually these copycat cars get away with it. The X7 never really made it onto the roads, but its shameless attempt at impersonating a premium luxury SUV makes it an iconic failure in the world of car ripoffs. The interior was also a direct copy of the Evoque, from the dashboard layout to the steering wheel. Even the badge placement was nearly identical. But despite its looks, the X7 was far from luxury. Cheap materials, poor safety ratings, and a lackluster driving experience made it an instant disappointment. The engine was underpowered, the transmission was clunky, and the handling, let's just say, not something you'd expect from a Range Rover. Eventually, Landwind stopped production, marking this car as a cautionary tale for other would-be copycats. Number 2. The Eagle Carry. Now here's a car that just screams identity crisis. Meet the Eagle Carry. At first glance, you might see hints of Ferrari in the front. But wait, the shape looks eerily like a Porsche. You'd be right, because the rear end is straight up stolen from a Porsche. With styling cues from two of the world's most famous sports car brands, you'd think this thing would pack some serious speed, right? Well, not exactly. It tops out at a jaw-dropping 70 miles per hour. Yes, you heard that right. A car that looks like a Ferrari-Porsche hybrid struggles to go past the speed limit on a highway. Embarrassing? Absolutely. The engine? A tiny 1.3-liter four-cylinder that barely produces 90 horsepower. The interior? A mismatched collection of plastic panels and cheap fabric seats. And the worst part? The doors, designed to resemble supercar scissor doors, didn't even function properly. The Eagle Carry wasn't just slow, it handled terribly, had a weak suspension, and was nowhere near the performance car it pretended to be. It's the ultimate definition of all show, no go. Number 3. BYD S8. Next up, we have a surprising entry from BYD, one of the largest car manufacturers in China. They're known for making electric vehicles today, but back in 2009, they decided to take a different route, blatantly copying a Mercedes. Introducing the BYD S8, which is basically a Mercedes-Benz CLK convertible in disguise. I mean, they didn't even try to hide it. The body shape, the headlights, even the grille, it's like someone put a CLK in a photocopier and hit print. And get this, after its debut at the 2006 Shanghai Motor Show, it actually went on sale in 2009. The result? A massive success. Just kidding, it sold a whopping 7 units. That's right, 7 cars in total. A copycat that nobody wanted. The engine choices were equally unimpressive, with a 2.0-liter four-cylinder producing just 138 horsepower, making it sluggish and unresponsive. The retractable hardtop roof, which was its main feature, often malfunctioned, leading to leaks and electrical failures. The interior was full of cheap plastics, with seats that felt more like they belonged in a budget taxi. Safety concerns also plagued the BYD S8, as it had no proper crash testing and lacked modern safety features. It's no surprise that buyers ran in the opposite direction. Number 4. The SVH Tundra. Toyota's Tundra is a well-respected full-size pickup, known for its reliability and solid build. But what happens when the Chinese try to clone it? You get the SVH Tundra. Yes, that's Tundra with an A. They even copied the name. But here's where things go from bad to worse. The original Toyota Tundra has powerful V8 engine options. The SVH Tundra, a 1.00-liter engine with a top speed of 62 miles per hour. It also takes 43 seconds to go from 0 to 62. That's basically a lifetime in car terms. The only redeeming quality? It costs about $6,000 brand new. But if you buy one and it splits in half while driving, well, you've been warned. The Tundra's design was laughably close to the Tundra, but under the hood, it was anything but. It had paper-thin body panels, a suspension system that felt non-existent, and a braking system that was dangerously unreliable. The bed of the truck was so weak that heavy loads would cause it to bend. Driving one felt like piloting a go-kart that had been stretched out into a truck shape. The interior was as basic as it gets, with barely functional air conditioning and no soundproofing. All in all, it's better to spend that $6,000 on a used bicycle than risk your life in this thing. Number 5. The Gilji Rolls. Rolls-Royce is the epitome of luxury, so naturally the Chinese decided to copy it too, introducing the Gilji Phantom, an embarrassing attempt at recreating the grandeur of a Rolls-Royce Phantom. The worst part? They even copied the Spirit of Ecstasy hood ornament. Like, come on, at least try to be a little original. But hey, if you ever wanted to feel like a billionaire on a budget, this might be your chance. Just don't expect any actual luxury. The car's proportions were all wrong, with an awkwardly stretched hood and tiny wheels that made it look like a toy. The luxury interior consisted of plastic-wrapped seats and a dashboard that rattled every time the car hit a bump. The ride quality? Unbearable. The suspension was stiff, the noise insulation was non-existent, and the engine, a tiny 1.5-liter four-cylinder, was embarrassingly weak. The doors had a habit of misaligning, making it hard to even get in and out. Anyone who bought this, hoping to impress their neighbors, ended up with nothing but regret. 6. The Geely GE. If you thought the Gilji Phantom was bad, wait until you see the Geely GE. This car is another Rolls-Royce knockoff, and it's even worse. Geely, one of China's biggest car companies, thought they could get away with cloning a Rolls-Royce Phantom, but what they ended up with was a Frankenstein-like mess. At first glance, it looks like a Phantom, until you notice the proportions are completely off. The grille is oversized, the headlights look like they were glued on last minute, and the Spirit of Ecstasy replacement on the hood? Let's just say it looks like a discount version you'd find at a flea market. But the real crime? Geely thought it would be a good idea to make the GE a single-seater limousine. That's right, there was only one massive throne-like seat in the back. Because of course, every millionaire wants to ride alone like a king, right? Needless to say, this ridiculous design choice flopped, and Geely had to rework the car. Even after that, it never took off, and it remains one of the most embarrassing attempts at copying luxury. The Dongfeng EQ 2050. The US military uses the Humvee, a rugged and powerful machine designed for extreme conditions. China's response? The Dongfeng EQ 2050, a straight-up ripoff that looks like it rolled out of a back-alley factory. China didn't even try to hide their intentions. They literally reverse-engineered a real Humvee, copying almost everything about it. But while the original Humvee is a powerhouse, the EQ 2050 is, well, not. Under the hood, instead of a big diesel V8, you get an underwhelming 2.8-liter diesel engine that struggles to keep up. The worst part? This knockoff has been used by the Chinese military. That means actual soldiers have had to rely on a second-rate Humvee clone, which is terrifying to think about. Reports say it lacks proper durability, struggles in harsh conditions, and has nowhere near the reliability of its American counterpart. In short, if you ever see one of these on the road, just know, it's not the real deal. And that wraps up our list of the worst Chinese rip-off cars. Which one do you think was the most shameless copy? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more automotive content.